What is up, car addicts? In this video, we're going to be talking about this week's Triple Money Event Week, as well as the newest additions and discounts as well. This event week is for September 1st through September 7th, 2022. So for the new content this week, we have the Vigero ZX that was finally added today as the 5th drip feed car. It costs just under $2 million and is free for GTA Plus members this month. Now, being the 5th drip feed car, that means we have 7 drip feed vehicles left for this DLC, plus we also received 6 new HSW races as well. But anyways, the current prize ride for this week is the Mamba. This car is primarily based on the AC Cobra. It has a normal price of just under $1 million. To get this car for free, you have to place top 2 in a Pursuit Series race for 2 days in a row. In terms of performance, this car is in the Sports Classics class and has great acceleration and straight line speed as well. However, its downfall is definitely its handling, which doesn't allow it to compete against the top cars all that well. But regardless, it's still a ton of fun to drive and has a great exhaust note as well. In terms of the test ride vehicles for this week, we have the Baller ST, the Patriot Mil-Spec, and the Astron as well. And for next-gen console players, we have the Turismo Classic as the HSW test ride vehicle for this week. Now, in terms of the casino podium vehicle for this week, we have the Locust. So this car is primarily based on the Lotus 311. It has a normal price of about $1.6 million. In terms of performance, this car is in the sports class and is around mid-pack for track performance. It really isn't anything all that exciting, if I'm being honest. It doesn't drive like some exciting race car. It drives like a fairly normal sports car. However, the customization is pretty good, so I guess there's that. And in terms of the dealership cars for this week, for luxury autos, we have the S80RR and the Morgan as well, with some Sprunk themed liveries and colors there, which is awesome. And for Simians, we have the Mesa, the Beater Dukes, the Banshee, the Landstalker XL, and the new Vigero ZX as well. And they're all different shades of green as well, including the prize ride and the casino podium car. So I think that's Rockstar's way of saying that Sprunk was pretty much the winner of the Sprunk vs. Ecola event week last week. That's very cool there. So starting off with the property discounts, we have 40% off the bunkers, as well as 40% off the upgrades and renovations for them as well, which is awesome. I highly recommend this business for passive income. It's a really good one. Moving on to vehicle discounts, we have 40% off the Astron Custom for next-gen console users. This vehicle is in the SUVs class and is one of the fastest in that class with the HSW upgrade. However, depending on the track, the Toros can still keep up with it very well. Next up, we have 30% off the Baller ST. Definitely the best variant of the Baller in my opinion, with great customization as well. Moving along, we have 40% off the S80RR, one of the best handling cars in the supercar class. It's just an absolute beast for corner intensive tracks. However, do bear in mind that the LM87 that was recently added is a lot quicker. Next up, we have 50% off the Comet Safari. So this car is in the sports class and has tons of customization, plus it's a lot of fun to off-road with as well. I think it's a very good buy at this price. Moving along, we have 40% off the Banshee. Not really an expensive car to begin with, but obviously it's a steal at this price and a pretty good buy. Next up, we have 50% off the Hakuchu Drag. So this is one of the fastest bikes in the game for racing, especially on next gen with the HSW upgrade. I highly recommend getting this bike this week. Moving on to the Summer San Andreas website, we have 50% off the Beater Dukes. So the Beater Dukes is in the muscle car class and does offer a lot more customization than the regular Dukes, plus it offers all the repairable upgrades for it, so it's essentially the better variant of the regular Dukes, and I think it's a must own if you don't own one already. Next up, we have 40% off the Desert Raid. So this vehicle is in the off-roads class and is one of the best off-roaders in the game, but obviously the Draugr that recently released has taken over that throne for both off-road capability and speed as well, so do keep that in mind. Moving on to the Warstock website, we have 40% off the Starling. So this aircraft has an insane rocket boost. This one is a ton of fun to fly and mess around with and troll players and such. It's an overall really cool aircraft, but do bear in mind that you do need to own a hangar property in order to purchase it. And lastly, we have 40% off the Dune FAV. Personally, I'm not too much of a fan of this one because it doesn't really off-road that well, plus you're open to getting shot out of it. There's just much better choices for weaponized vehicles out there in game. In terms of vehicle upgrade discounts, for next-gen console players, HSW upgrades for the 13 HSW vehicles in game are 30% off this week, which is awesome. In terms of unlocks, you can get these green tint oversized shades just for logging in this week, which is pretty cool. In terms of triple money, we have triple money NRP on the Hot Ring Circuit races, which is repeating from last week. In terms of double money, we have double money NRP on the Adversary Mode Hunting Packs, which is pretty cool. And double money NRP on the Request Bunker Research missions from Agent 14. And for next-gen console players, we have double money NRP on HSW races, including the 6 new ones that were added with this week as well. In terms of bonuses, we have a 2x speed boost on bunker research this week, plus bunker supplies are 40% off this week as well, which is awesome. Moving on to the Prime Gaming discounts for Prime Gaming members only. So again, same as usual, the only thing we have is the usual $125,000 for logging in during the event week period. And lastly, this week's RC Bandito time trial is Vespucci Canals. This week's normal time trial is Lake Vinewood Estates. I highly recommend a fast bike such as the Hakachu Drag, Shotaro, or a Batty 801 for this time trial. In terms of the premium race for this week, we have the Supercar Race Cutting Coordinators. I highly recommend either the Emirates, Krieger, Wagner, or S80RR for that race. And if you're on next gen, I highly recommend using either the HSW Weaponized Ignis or the HSW Cyclone 2. And lastly, for next gen console users, the HSW time trial for this week is North Chumash. As always, the HSW Hakachu Drag will be the best one for these. In terms of my vehicle discount pick of the week, I'm going to have to go with the Hakachu Drag at 50% off for one of the fastest bike in the game and the fastest bike on next gen with the HSW upgrade. I think this is an insane deal and I highly recommend buying it for this week if you don't own one already. Anyways guys, hope this was helpful. Overall, I think this is a pretty decent event week with great vehicle discounts and bonuses as well. Obviously, the bonus money isn't all that great, but it will get better as time goes on, especially once the drip feed cars end. Anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.